We're going back to basics today with an easy side dish recipe that's perfect for this time of year, and that's roasted Brussels sprouts. It's a fall favorite recipe that's addictively crunchy with those golden and crispy edges, but it's also tender on the inside with a subtle sweetness that comes from roasting. Roasted Brussels sprouts are super easy to make with a little bit of oil, salt, and pepper, and a quick stop in a hot oven. But if you want to recreate the flavor of what you might find at your favorite restaurant, keep watching because I'm also going to share 6 quick and easy flavor variations with you. But before we dive in, I do want to point out the proper spelling of Brussels sprouts, and that's with a capital B and an S at the end, so it's Brussels sprouts, not Brussels sprout. So now you know, and we can get started. You'll need 1.5 pounds of Brussels sprouts, and if they're in season, you may be able to find them on the stalk, but otherwise you'll likely just purchase them loose and individually. I prefer small to medium-sized sprouts as they're slightly sweeter, but what you're really looking for is a bright green color with no yellowing or wilted leaves. And once you've got yours picked, just rinse them in cold water to remove any dirt or debris. After you've washed the Brussels sprouts, it's important to make sure they're completely dry. You don't want any water left on them when you pop them in the oven, otherwise they'll start to steam rather than roast. And I use a clean kitchen towel to dry them off, but you could also use a salad spinner or paper towel. Preheat your oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit or 220 degrees Celsius, and then you can start trimming the Brussels sprouts. To do that, use a sharp knife and cut just a very small amount off the bottom and then cut them in half. You don't want to cut too much off the bottom, otherwise all of the outer leaves will come loose when you do cut them in half. And while some leaves coming loose is fine and expected, you just don't want the whole Brussels sprout to unravel. If any of those outer leaves are dirty or damaged, you can toss those, but otherwise make sure to keep those loose leaves. They get extra crispy while roasting and are my favorite part about roasted Brussels sprouts. Once the sprouts are all sliced in half, transfer them to a baking tray, including all those loose leaves, so we can add a little seasoning. I do this straight on the baking tray instead of in a bowl because I figure the less dirty dishes, the better. So drizzle 2 tablespoons of olive oil or avocado oil and sprinkle with salt and pepper. I probably add about 1/2 teaspoon of salt and 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, but always season to your personal preference. Then just dig in with your hands to toss and mix them all together, making sure each Brussels sprout is coated in a little oil and seasoning. But here's the most important step of this very simple process. Make sure all of the Brussels sprouts are turned cut side down on the baking tray. That will ensure you get that golden, almost caramelized edge on the sprout. And you can leave all of those loose leaves just scattered in between. Place the Brussels sprouts in the oven and roast for 25 to 30 minutes. About halfway through, I'll rotate my pan as the backside always cooks faster in my oven, but I don't toss them. I just leave them flat on the baking sheet. Once they're done, you'll see some pieces dark brown, some golden, and some still green. That's what you want, which is a mix of shades, which gives you a mix of textures. And then you can transfer them to a serving bowl. These simple, unfussy Brussels sprouts taste amazing straight out of the oven and are the perfect side dish to accompany a wide variety of mains, from chicken to salmon, and I do have some recommendations on the recipe blog post on my website. But as promised, I also want to show you 6 quick flavor variations, and I'll just do small individual portions. The first is garlic parmesan. For this, just remove the Brussels sprouts from the oven a few minutes before they're done and sprinkle with minced garlic and grated parmesan. Give them a toss, roast them for a few minutes more, and you've got cheesy, garlicky sprouts. Balsamic vinegar and Brussels sprouts are the perfect match, and for this you'll reduce some balsamic vinegar in a pot on the stove by half until it thickens up, then drizzle that over the sprouts before serving. The next variation is perfect for the holidays and it couldn't be easier. Just add some dried cranberries, crispy bacon pieces, and diced pecans to your roasted sprouts. I love a sweet mustard dressing, and for this version, just combine equal amounts of maple syrup and Dijon mustard in a bowl and stir together. Then drizzle that on top for a sweet and savory flavor kick. And lastly, if you like a little more heat and spice, make a sriracha vinaigrette with lime juice, olive oil, honey, and sriracha. Then stir that together and toss with your roasted Brussels sprouts. Give this video a thumbs up if you're a Brussels sprouts lover like me. Enjoy them a variety of different ways, and I will see you again in next week's video.